Had I not been doing Meteor Man or had it not went Larry's way, I would have had a lot of fun doing that. But I really probably would have scared myself doing it out of, I don't want to be that mean. I don't want to be remembered that way.
Willie D. Live.
You
Huh?
can do other things, man. But man, I'm telling you, that acting, bro. You know, look, man. You put distance between yourself and the competition with that. Like
Yeah,
you know,
tell him.
you put yourself. You really put distance between yourself and the competition with acting. Like that's your gift. That's definitely
You think so? You
that's
really believe that?
I know for a fact because a lot of people have talents. A lot of it's kind of like a talent is something that you can do but but a gift is something that comes easy for you that other people find difficult to do. Most people find difficult to do, and that's the difference between a cook and a chef, right? A whole lot
Damn.
of people, a whole lot of people can cook, but it ain't too many people can be a chef. Because chef is more than just cooking. It's the passion, it's the presentation. It's the taste, it's the herbs, it's the spices, it's everything. Like and it's knowing the difference and the nuances of ingredients and stuff. Man, everybody can't do that. That's a whole different level. Like, you know, I can cook, but my homeboy is a chef. That motherfucker,
Okay.
he can go. Like and I'm talking about all types of foods, any type of delicacy, this dude, he got it down pat. That dude, he that's a different level. What you
Right.
do, what you do with that acting thing, man, it's just a whole different level. The uh the most unusual audition that you've had to encounter.
Now, this is not necessarily unusual. Joe Jackson for the Michael Jackson story. It was uncanny being a father of an artist, Roshan, locking in. And Roshan wasn't Roshan at that point. He was just a baby. But I kind of knew, you know, the chip off the old block, but he hadn't, done all the things. And I didn't know he was a triple threat and all that anyway. But reading the script, and my friend Jackie Brown, the casting director, brought me in. And they brought me in for a callback, and they brought me in for a third callback. And it was between my good friend Lawrence. Everybody's my good friend until they're not. My good friend Lawrence Hilton Jacobs is still my good friend to this day. It was between him and I. Why was it most unusual? Did you see the movie?
I did.
Okay, I didn't get it because it was between him and I. Politically, I had the very same booking on the Meteor Man, and they knew that when they narrowed it down between New York, Detroit, and all the cities that they saw the actors, and it was between the talented Lawrence Hilton Jacobs and myself. Whatever way it didn't work because of my schedule or because they just went his direction, I don't know to this day. But it feels good knowing that was my part. That was his part. It's just a matter of which way they went at the end. Reading the script was scary because the level of intensity that Joe brought as the character or the writer interpretation of Joe is pretty nasty, bro.
Hmm.
What was your question again? Say it again just so I can get the right.
No, I think what I was asking was the most unusual audition.
So that's unusual that
Yeah.
you start playing a role that feels very right. It was a nasty coach. I'm a nasty coach. He's a pushy mofo. I'm a pushy mofo. I was relating to shit that was coming off real nice. And it was like, oh yeah, this nigga, that's that Joe right there.
Do you
And it's weird, just weird.
do you think it may have been for them like maybe six in one hand, half a dozen in the other, but they went with they went with Lawrence because Lawrence was closer in shade and hue, perhaps. You
I
know,
never thought of it that way. People thought that I looked more like him for a minute because at one point he was closer to shade than because we all have our complexions look different and we change. A lot of people to this day say, "Oh, you look a lot," or could have. But there's something about me as an actor and knowing that I finally met him. Yes, his hue and shade was very close to Lawrence. But something that's very incredible, thank God, about me as an actor. And I don't know if everybody has this, but I'm a chameleon, bro. I
mhm.
literally transform spiritually, physically. I commit to a level of I don't mimic facial expressions and I don't do that imitation stuff. But I think as a coach, as a father that wants their kids to be the best, I was living that shit so hard. I was undeniable. Watching the film, was it a blockbuster? No. Was it powerful? Yes. Do I feel, back to your other question, would that have changed anything? Not necessarily, but just knowing that I was considered and knowing what, see, as a professional auditioner, even when I wasn't working, I would kid myself. I just do auditions. I'm good at them, but they don't hire my ass. I would joke like that because I knew I did a good job. And I knew I learned the business early enough, even though it tore my heart out and I had to rebuild another one like the $6 million brother. I knew that it's sometimes a look, back to what you said. It's not always about talent. It's a hue, a look, it's a face that has to fit in, a
Yeah,
physical, whatever. It's not always about your talent. But I just say I can transform. And I really believe when you say unusual, I felt like, damn, that script, if I ever found it, I'm sure I got it somewhere around here. I transformed into Joe Jackson. And had I not been doing Meteor Man or had it not went Larry's way, I would have had a lot of fun doing that. But I really probably would have scared myself doing it out of, I don't want to be that mean. I don't want to be remembered that way.
yeah,
I know I've heard Mr. Jackson talk about how his dad scared him. I don't want my son to remember me that way. But I'm pretty, hard as a coach and hard as an acting coach. I've worked with other students and I had to learn how to refine my teaching technique that is not so, you know, it's not a football coach, but it's close to, passion. And people can confuse passion with just over the top, nigga. It's just too much. Just and I always respect the directors that whisper to their actors. I want to be more like that guy.